board. I'm going to open my window because we've had the heating on, so it's really warm. We'll go overheat. Lovely. Okay, so if you want to find yourself somewhere to stand on your mat or in your room, and we're just going to warm up to begin with. Let's get the shoulders nice and loose this evening. I've been sat down far too much today and I'm feeling like a bit hunched, so we'll loosen everything up. So just bring yourself to stand, soften your knees, little bit of a pelvic tilt just to find a neutral position, and then take a deep breath in, bring the shoulders up towards the ears, and as you breathe out, just drop those shoulders away, taking any tension with you. Okay, we're just going to start by rolling the neck round in a circle. So you're going to bring the chin down towards the chest, rolling over to the other side. Come up halfway, rather than going up and over, drop back down again, rolling your chin towards the chest and over to the other side. Imagine a marble in a big dish and it's just rolling from side to side. You're going to use the weight of your head just to let that neck relax. Super. And if you get any clicks, grinds or pops, don't worry about it. We're just loosening things off. Let's do one more to each side. And then after your next one, just come back down to the centre and slowly stack your neck back on top of your shoulders. And as you come up, imagine a helium balloon is just lifting you up towards the ceiling. Let's just roll through the shoulders just so we can loosen everything off. Just a couple of rolls this evening, and that's just going to bring a little bit of awareness to our shoulder blades, because for the next exercise we're going to really focus on tucking your shoulder blades down into your back pockets. So see if you can set that position, shoulders down into your back pockets, opening up through the fronts of the collarbones, gently pressing the elbows in at the waist, gently drawing the tummy towards the spine, and we're going to float the arms out to the side and back forwards again. So this is dumb waiter. So we imagine we're holding 2 trays of drinks and we're just rotating them outwards and back forwards again. All the while trying to fix that lovely shoulder position and keeping your tummy active so that as your arms come forwards, your rib cage doesn't flare with you. You're trying to keep all of that spine nice and steady, let your shoulders do all the work. Okay, let's work a little bit more through the arms now. This is a really nice way of mobilising the nerves through the arms. So once you've got your trays of drinks to the side, you're just going to reach them away from your body without letting your shoulders creep up towards your ears. Really tuck those shoulders down, then the elbows gently press back in and the palms come forwards again. Just simply repeat that. So hands out to the side, nice breath away just to lengthen through the arms. Feel those nerves, get a little bit of a gentle pull. Come back in and hands forwards again. Lovely. Now if you want to, as you bring your hands away, you can gently rise up onto tiptoes and then come back down as those elbows drift back in again. Super. Just keep it going. So a nice breath out to float up and in to come down. If the tiptoes feels like too much, then just work on those arms. We've got 2 more. If you want to, you can add a little bit of a pelvic floor lift with that tiptoes. So you squeeze your pelvic floor as you come up and release as you come down. Okay, we're going to do one more, but this time we're going to hold. So you're going to hold with the arms out to the side. You can have your feet down or your feet up. Now, if everybody squeezes their pelvic floor, and we're going to challenge our balance to look over to one shoulder. And then we look forwards again and over to the opposite shoulder. Come back to the front. Should we do it again? See if we can still hold our balance. Watch those shoulders haven't crept up towards your ears, mind. Good. Back to the centre. Over to the opposite side. Coming back forwards. And then lower down and give those arms a bit of a shake. Good stuff. So hopefully that's kind of got our shoulders working a little bit, our arms loosened off. We're going to work the legs quite hard in our warm-up today because we've got no real leg work when we come down onto the mat. So we're just going to start with a little bit of a knee bend into a squat and add a nice big circle through the arms. So we sit down into the heels, bring the arms up and forwards, and then the arms come round and down as we push up to stand again. So you're drawing a nice big circle with both of those arms. thinking about those knees now. So can you keep them behind your toes? So on the next one, you're going to glance down and make sure you can still see the tips of your toes. If your toes have disappeared behind your knees, you're putting a little bit too much weight in the front of your knees, and you want to sit back ever so slightly into that squat. Get your bottom working harder, get your legs working harder. Let me see how you're doing. Looks good, everyone. Lovely. Yeah, and your shoulders can travel ever so slightly forward, so you're almost sort of tilting into that. And as you warm up, you just go a bit deeper. Get those legs working. Looking good, everyone. Nice. Okay, deeper you go, the harder you work. We've got 2 more. So the next one you're going to hold. So you're going to hold this little squat. Now make sure that your knees are pointing forward. So you've got 2 headlights shining out your knees, and they're going to shine directly down the road. They're not going to cross over or go off to the sides. And then we're just going to continue with those circles with the arms as we hold that position. Now you might get a bit tired with these, so if you need to at any point, you can just stand up and shake out those legs and then join back in again. At the same time, see if you can gently draw your tummy into your spine. Now, for those of you that want to work a little bit more, we're going to add a little bit of a lift, but just with the heels. So we're going to keep the knees bent. As the arms come up, we raise onto the heels and then lower down as the arms come down. So the heels raise and we lower down, but all the while we're staying in that squat. We've got 4 more. Rest if you need to. You maybe add that heel raise, maybe not, up to you. 2 more. Save something because we've got a little bit more to do with the legs this evening. 1 more. Super. And then bring yourself up to stand and shake those legs out. Now, hopefully that's got a bit of blood flowing through these thighs here, because we're going to challenge them a little bit more. So I want you to step your right foot forwards, left foot back, okay? And you're going to have quite a wide step. And you're going to bring your left heel off of the mat and put most of your weight initially down into that right leg. Now, keeping the top half of your body nice and tall, we're not going to lean forwards with this. Trying to think about lowering your weight down into your knees. And what's really important with this is you can still see your toes on your front leg. Okay, so we're not traveling forwards, we're traveling down to the mat and then pushing back up again. So you imagine that there's a button behind your left knee and you're trying to press down on that button directly below you and push back up to stand. Now these are quite challenging on knee joints, so you don't have to go too deep. You could work into here, or if you want to work a bit harder, coming right down. And you'll notice the end position you're aiming for is 2 right angles at those knees. Let me come and see how you're going. Lovely, keep going with them, yeah. So as deep as you feel able to. That's great, Isabel, well done, Emma. Lovely, so keeping your weight up, Jill, if you stand up nice and tall for me and try and travel downwards rather than forwards, that's better, good. Well done, Tash. Good, Sally. Yes, keep your balance. That's it, Elaine. Lovely. Okay, so we're going to hold this next one. Okay, holding this position. We're just going to hold, nothing fancy. But if you want to, on that front leg, see if you can lift and lower your heel. We're going to be here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Feel the burn. 5, 4. Woo, 3, 2 and 1. Lovely, come up to stand and give those legs a good shake. So you should have hopefully felt that a little bit more in your back leg. So we've got to do it all again, I'm afraid. I might not keep you here quite so long because you know what you're doing now. So you're going to swap your legs over, have the opposite leg out in front now. So I believe that's your left foot in front, right foot behind. This time, just pop your hands on your hips and make sure as you go down that your pelvis stays level. So we talk often about our pelvis as being a big bucket of water. This time we want to make sure that we don't spill the water out to the sides of the bucket. So as you go down, Your hip doesn't want to dip down, trying to keep that pelvis level. And the top half of your body is beautiful, like a statue. Nothing is moving. It's just those knees bending and straightening. Let me come and see you. Oh, that's better on this side, Jill. Well done. Looks good. Well done, Tim. Nice. Okay, I'm going to get you to do 3 more. Well done, Elaine. Yeah, you just work through the range that you can. 2 more. And hold this next one. So go as deep as you feel able to. And then you've got that option, if you wish, of lifting and lowering the front heel. So you're just coming up and down on your tiptoes. We're here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. Come up to stand and shake those legs out. I did the same leg twice. That was a bit silly. Okay, good stuff. You'll be pleased to know that's it for legs. So let's come down onto the mat, but we're going to do it with a few roll downs with some options if you want to try and add a little bit of a plank. So just stand at the top of your mat so you've got the whole length of your mat nice and tall. We're going to go straight into these this evening. So you're going to roll down through your spine. We know what we're doing with our roll downs, don't we? We're trying to get all of those bones in the spine moving on their own. Come into that little hand down and then bend your knees so you can bring your hands onto the mat. And then you're either going to walk into your box position, where your hands and knees are down on the mat, or you're going to walk into your plank position. We're not going to stay there though, so then we're going to walk our hands back towards us and we're going to slowly come back up to stand, stacking back up again. So don't rush these, but you don't need to stop at the bottom. So you're either going to come down into a box position or down into a plank position, but still get that benefit of rolling down through your spine so you can get a nice loose back and then come back up again. Now what's really good about this is it's really functional, so it enables us to practice getting up and down off of the floor, which is a skill that gets tricky if we're not practicing it, especially if you've been in pain or you've had surgery or something like that. We avoid doing it, and then we only ever do it when we really need to, and it feels a bit awkward. Elaine, that is brilliant. Well done. Oh, lovely. Gonna have to move you up to the improvers class. Well done. Very nice. Okay, we're going to go for 2 more. Well done, Sally, looking good. Lovely and slow there, Jill. I like it. Great, Tim. Okay. And then I just want you to hold your next position. So either your plank or your box. Just hold the next one a little bit longer. If you're holding your box position, then just see if you can tighten your tummy up towards your spine, start to create a little bit of tension around your abdominal muscles. That's going to be what helps us to work into stronger plank exercises. Lovely. Okay, so I think we are all coming up to hold. I think we just got Elaine to come down once more. Keep holding, guys, keep holding. Super. And then we're going to use this opportunity to push back into a downward dog. So you're going to take your hips and you're going to shoot them up towards the sky, and you're going to see if you can get your heels down towards your mat. You're going to look towards your hands or up towards your belly button and see if you can stick your tail up towards the sky as well. Now that is going to feel like a lovely deep pull down the back of the legs. Make it feel comfortable. You're also pushing your body weight into your shoulders, so a big strengthener through these shoulders. So if you need to, you can just come down and rest out of it and come back into it. And what feels quite nice with this is just see if you can bend alternate knees and just work those heels down towards the mat. Or you could maybe try swaying from side to side, so you're just pushing into opposite hips. Tends to loosen everything off. Please make sure you're breathing with these. No breath holding allowed. One more deep breath in as you breathe out. Just see if you can work your heels a little bit closer down towards the mat. And then we're all just going to bend our knees, come down onto our mats and rest as we do in our shell stretch. So you've got your hips just resting down towards your heels, and just let your head settle down on the mat just for 10-20 seconds, just so that your blood pressure can kind of catch up. You've had your head below your heart for a while there, so let's just level everything out. Okay, not too long there though. So if you want to adjust your cameras, you can do, because we're going to be down on the mat now, but we're going to work back in our box position. We're going to work just to loosen off through the spine. So when you're ready, join in with me. We're going to do our thread the needle. So hands beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips. We take a deep breath in, and as we breathe out, we pass one hand behind the other and start to bend the elbows so we can lower ourselves down towards the mat. The end goal is to get the back of the shoulder and the head resting on the mat. Some of you may not quite be there just yet, that's fine. And then we come back up and we repeat that on the other side. So always remember that our breath out is going to help us to twist and come down towards the mat. And our breath in just pushes us back into our box position. And that breath out is really important because it allows us just to move the rib cage without 2 lungs full of air. Very nice. Good. I think we all know what we're doing with our thread the needle. So enjoy the opportunity just to loosen off through the spine. Really, really good one for the backs of the shoulders. If you get a bit stiff through here, if you're sat in one position all day, just opening up that rib cage and the spine in between. Let's do one more on each side. And then when you're ready, you're going to come back to your box position, or you can come and have a little look at what we're doing. So we're going to do our swimming exercise now, which is all about strengthening the back of the body and challenging our balance and rotary control through the spine. So this is where we set ourselves up like a coffee table, and we've got cups of coffee resting along the length of the spine. You're going to take your right hand and your left foot, and you're going to slide them along the length of your mat. So your hand goes towards you, your leg goes behind. So try and do that without spilling any cups of coffee. This is your level 1. Level 2, you can slowly lift your hand and foot off the mat, but do that without banana-ing your back. So we want a nice long spine. We then touch down and slide back in. So level 1 is lengthening the foot and hand along the mat, but keeping it in contact. You could then come back in. Or level 2 is stretching away and then lifting. And please alternate between left and right, okay? So trying to create as much length through your body with this. So imagine somebody at one end is pulling your arm and at the other end is pulling your leg, and that will give you a nice long spine. So you're trying to keep your sort of tailbone shooting in the direction of your heels. Thinking about your head, you can get a nice neck workout by just floating the back of the head away from the floor as well. So you're still looking down. We speak sometimes in class about having a helium balloon attached to the back of your head. So that's just lifting you up by the nape of your neck. These look good. I trust you all with cups of coffee, even though I don't like coffee. I'm a tea drinker. Very nice. Well done, everyone. Beautifully done. I think we've all gone for that harder option. Although I can't see you, Mina and Paul, but I'm sure you have as well. Okay, yeah, take a rest, Sally, and then join back in when you're ready. We're going to do one more on each side, but this time we're going to hold it. So when you're ready, you're going to set yourself up. It doesn't matter which one you do first. Long, either long arm and leg or a lifted arm and leg, and we're going to hold that. I want you to really focus now on gently drawing your tummy towards your spine and keep holding for me. Okay, keep holding. 3, 2, 1, and swap sides. Same again. So set yourself up with that nice long body. Don't twist. And hold for me. Great. 10, 9, make sure you're breathing. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. Shake those wrists out, come away from your knees if you need to, just to give them a rub. Absolutely good. Okay, super. One last thing then in our box position before we come down onto the mat and finish with some abs. We're going to work on our tricep muscles. I forgot where they were a minute. So your tricep muscles are on the kind of back of your upper arm. They kind of do this sort of movement, really, really important, but can get really sort of weak quite quickly. We don't tend to work them that much in Pilates, so I thought a good opportunity for us to do so. So you're going to set yourself up in your box position again, but this time you're going to bring your hands a little bit closer together. And then from here, you want to think about drawing your elbows towards your rib cage. You're kind of doing sort of this movement. And then from there, you're going to try and bend your elbows and lower your chest towards the floor. You're trying to really keep your elbows tucked in towards your rib cage. So your options really here depend on how low you want to go. So your first option is just here, and then you push back up. Or your second option is coming all the way down, bring your chest to touch the floor, and then push back up again. Now we're going to do 8 of these, so choose your option and then join in with your level. If anybody wants to, you can try and do a full press up, so off your toes, but they're really hard with these tricep ones. Oh, I think I'll do 1 and give up. Okay, so choose your option, do your 8, and then once you've finished, we'll all sit back to our heels and have a rest. So yeah, just get going with your 8 and just really think about elbows, tucking them in towards your waist. Imagine they're your wings and you want your wings to stay tucked in. Good, yeah, do as many as you can. If 8 feel like it's too much, that's fine. But really snug those elbows in. So Elaine, bring your elbows a little bit more towards your waist. You're kind of trying to send your elbows to the back of your mat, not to the side of your mat, if that makes any sense. Better, lovely. Well done, Isabel, they look great. Good work, Emma. So I'm going to trust you to count your 8 and sit back and rest when you're done. Lovely. People come in. Oh, sorry, Tim, were they tough? Was a good face there. Okay, well done. Just finishing off a few more. Sorry, Amina and Paul, I can't see you there, but I'll give everyone another couple of seconds. That's you, Elaine. Lovely. Okay, so hopefully you felt that all along the top part of your arm here. Do you want to come down onto your mats? We're going to line our backs now in our rest position. So if you need to adjust your camera, do so now. And we're going to go for some tummy stuff. So straight in, we're going to go for hundreds. Feet and knees hip distance apart. Find your neutral spine. Hold a gentle pressure on that sponge in the small of your back, and then begin to pulse your arms. So your level 1 is here, or you can do this in your double tabletop position. So remember, with double tabletop, we've got the knees stacked over the hips, and we're going to go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. So you can hug your knees towards your chest if you wish. In a moment, we're going to do another 2 rounds. So you can either have your feet on the floor, or you can have your feet in tabletop. So set yourself up. I'm going to come and count. Off we go. 10, 9, 8, 7. I can just see everybody's feet. 6 is good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Some brilliant tabletops there, well done. Oh, Tash, you've moved your camera as well. Okay, and a couple of deep breaths, and we'll go again. So set back up for your double tabletop. Hold that position and pulse those arms. Good. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good stuff. So hopefully that's kind of brought our awareness to those tummy muscles, because we're going to need them for this next exercise. So 2 levels again with this one. The option to make it harder is just to have your leg that's not moving in a tabletop position. So I'll show you what it's going to look like. With your left leg, you're going to lengthen your foot along the mat, so stretch the leg out. And then you're going to float your foot off the floor, so your knees are roughly in line. And then you're going to fold that leg into a tabletop and then lower it down again. So it's kind of a bit like a cycling movement. So the foot stretches along the mat. We float the leg up, keeping the knees straight. Then we fold the leg to tabletop and lower down. So this is your first option, yeah? Your second option is same movement with the left leg, but the right leg's just in tabletop. So you're going to feel that tummy a little bit more as you lift the weight of your leg. And your challenge is to not let your back arch and your tummy sort of dome at the weight of your leg. Let's have nice pointy toes, make it look nice and graceful. So we're going to do 3 more in this direction. Let's see how you're doing with that. Lovely, Elaine. See if you can take your foot all the way down towards the floor. That's it. And now stretch it out. And then you've got them further to lift it up. Looking good. Nice, Emma. Well done, Mum and Dad. I can just see your feet. That's great. Lovely. Good choices of levels as well. We've got a couple different levels. Okay. So now we're going to reverse that cycling movement. This is a really good coordination one. So I can't think what we're going to do now. So we're going to stretch the leg out from tabletop, lower it down, and then scoop it back along the mat, float it up to tabletop, stretch it out, lower it down, and then slide it along the mat. This is almost too much for my brain to think about tonight. So tabletop, stretch, lower down, and slide along. Now that lowering is really going to test the front of your hip flexor muscles and the strength of your lower back to not lift off the mat. Let's go for 2 more, and then we're going to swap sides. Breathing out as the leg lowers down. Hopefully you're feeling this one really nicely in your tummy. Super. And then just rest after this next one. Hug your left knee towards you, and then stretch it out as well. Super. Okay, so let's swap over. So the right leg is now going to be the one that's moving. So let's just remind ourselves of that first cycle that we did. We stretch the foot along the length of the mat, then we float it up with our knees straight, we fold it down into our tabletop, and then we touch the foot down towards the mat. That could be with the foot down or with the left foot in tabletop position. So as I say, it's like a cycling movement. And the bigger the movement, the more that your lower back is going to have to try and control against arching. We talk a lot about sponges. Keep your pressure the same on your sponge in the small of your back. Lovely, Tim. Well done. Nice, Tash. Well done. That's looking really good, Sally. Okay. Very good. Now, can we reverse that movement? So from where you are, just come back in. See if you can go the opposite way. Or if you need to, pause and just think about it all again. So often what we talk about with these more complex movements, where we're moving lots of different ways, it's a really nice way for our brain to have to coordinate more so with our muscles. And the better that we improve those messages, those communication messages, the better our brain kind of knows how to use our body with day-to-day tasks. And that's how Pilates really helps with our function. So I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to do 2 more with you. And then after this next one, hug your knees towards you. Gently rock from side to side. Okay, we've got 1 more minute, 1 more exercise. Okay, we're all going to come to our double tabletop position. You are going to take a tray of drinks and rest it on your waist, and you're going to put one of those drinks on your right knee. Keep your right knee still, and then just slowly let your left leg rotate out to the side. Bring that left leg back to the center, and we're going to go over to the right side. Okay, so I'll just show you from this angle. Sorry, that's not the nicest angle, but rotating out to the side and coming back in. Now, if you're going over to the right, try and keep your left hip anchored down into your mat. What it will want to do is twist across with it, and you're going to try and avoid that movement. Now, if your legs start to get heavy, you can give your knees a hug, or you can put one leg down on the side and just work on one leg and swap over. So there's your first option. Both knees are lifted and we're rotating out to the side, okay? Your second option, you're going to move your legs as one. So you're going to squeeze your knees together, place your hands out to the side of you, and then rock your legs over. Now for this, you're going to have to lift your opposite hip off the mat. Both your knees come across to the side, and then you draw your knees back to the center using the strength of your tummy, and then go over to the opposite side. Try not to just let your legs collapse down. You're really slowly lowering them down. The slower the better. So you're trying to really control those knees across and then pull them back over. Imagine a big tree swaying in the wind. Make it controlled. So it could be both knees at the same time or one at a time. And for those of you that want to finish with an even bigger challenge, you're going to straighten your legs. You're going to take your feet up towards the sky and then sway them from side to side. So that is a big, long, heavy legs now, and your tummy muscles are lifting and lowering. Good. I'm going to join in with you. Well done, Jill. Give it a go. Oh, good. We've got loads of people giving that a go. Squeeze your thighs so the backs of your knees are nice and straight. Okay, we're almost there. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Super stuff. Place your feet down on the mat now, and we're just going to do our normal twists from side to side. So you're nice and connected down towards the mat. You don't need to worry about the weight of your legs now. So similar movement, but this time just to loosen off your backs. Couple more rolls from side to side. And then when you're ready, bring yourself to lie on your side where you can rest for a minute, or you can come up to sit, where we're going to finish.